Okay, this lecture is on finding the z-value for our confidence interval, and it involves 3 steps. So step one, we start off with our confidence level, and we divide it by 2. So we want to take the confidence level in the form of a decimal. Specifically, if we're looking at 90%, we want to use it in the format of 0.9. So we divide that by 2 and we get 0.45. Okay, so the 0.45 is telling us that this encompasses 45% of the one side of the distribution. So step 2. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to our z table and we're going to look for or look up 0.45 in the body of the z table. Okay, now the reason we're looking up in the body of the z table rather than in the edges, because this is a percentage, not a z-value. Okay, here's our z-table. Now we're going to start scrolling through the z-table until we come up with our 0.45. So you'll notice 0.45 is going to be somewhere in between 0.4495 and 0.4505, and in fact it's exactly in the middle of it, and I believe this is something we've seen before. And so we use a z-value of 1.65. Okay, so the z-value for a 90% confidence level is 1.65. All right, and that is in fact our step 3, is stating that in step 3, after looking into the body of the z-table, we find that the z-value for the 90% confidence level is 1.65. And so if we were to just jot this down into our distribution, right, effectively we're looking at these areas here, right, negative 1.65 to positive 1.65. And since we're looking at the 90% confidence level, we know that this constitutes the middle 90%, and that's what our confidence interval is actually drawing. Okay, finding the t-value for a confidence interval using the t-table. Now you'll be pleasantly surprised, as this is actually a lot easier and faster to do than the z-table and the z-values. Okay, so let's have a look at our t distribution here. And let's say we're looking for a confidence level of, say, 95%. And here, remember, we need to have the number of observations since this is a sample. Let's say we have 30 observations, and based on that, the degrees of freedom is equal to n minus 1, or 29. Okay, so our coordinates for our t-value are 95% confidence level, degrees of freedom 29. So let's have a look to see what that means. So again, we're only interested in this case in this specific row where it has the confidence intervals and this first column with the degrees of freedom. Of course, you can look in this distribution this side as well, as the degrees of freedom continue here. For our case, we had n of 30, and therefore degrees of freedom is 29. Okay, so 29, and we go up to the top of this to look for our confidence level of 95%. And what we notice here is that 95%, and we have 29 degrees of freedom. We have t confidence level, or t statistic, or t-value for the 95% confidence level is 2.045, and this effectively gets entered into our confidence interval equation. Let's say we had 16 degrees of freedom, and we were looking at a 99% confidence interval. Okay, therefore our t-value would be 2.921. We'll use the level of significance one tail and two tail test for chapter 10.